What it do, YouTube? Enough time has passed, and it's time we declare a winner of the Kendrick and Drake beef. And I've been thinking a lot on this feud and how to decide a winner. So we're gonna go through it track by track. We're gonna discuss track by track. We're gonna discuss the angles each guy's take, the allegations each guy's made, and we're gonna decide how we get a winner here. So I'm gonna tell you guys my thought initially going into this. To me, Drake had the advantage going into it. Drake had to push a T beef where it was exposed that he had a son. Everybody have bought up the contract with the Young Money, Cash Money thing before. I think Pusha T that said you were signed to this guy that was signed to that guy. So a lot of Drake, quote unquote T, was already out in the public. While we ain't really seen Kendrick go through a few where someone can expose. So everything with Kendrick want to feel like brand new info for people, and people here in the social media era loves, T. So I was like, Drake has the advantage because he can expose things about Kendrick we don't know, while Kendrick will have to most likely rehash things that was said about Drake before. I also thought Drake had the advantage of, 20 versus 1, the way it seemed coming out of Like That, or the Metro Boomin the Future album, the We Don't Trust You album, with the Weeknd and all these guys. So the Drake pulled that card, which he did in push-ups. It's just a 20v1, which like, okay, it's cool. He got to go against so many other people. They're just a tough guy approach having to go against all these people. I didn't think he had the advantage rapping wise. I think Kendrick is the better rapper. Drake ain't no scrub. Drake is a great artist. He could hold his own. So when push-ups come out, we're waiting for Kendrick for almost 2 weeks. Which I didn't like that folks had a countdown on him compared to Drake's wait to respond to Like That. They had their excuse. It was a feature, blase. And that's what I'm always struggling with Like That and first person shooter. Do we count those? Because I didn't see Drake throwing heavy shots at Kendrick in first person shooter. I caught the cold when the Everybody Steppers, Everybody Breakfast, and the Big Three by Muhammad Ali. I didn't really get the Drake sublime. So if you got the Drake shots at Kendrick in first person shooter, let me know. And I've heard the history behind how that song's supposed to have been with Kendrick apparently again offered to be the third. By the way, that would have been a great song. But, Kendrick didn't want to be on it for reasons. He've had beef with Drake for over a decade now. But first person shooter was it was a pretty cool song. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty good song. The ideal of the push-ups, the drop and give me 50% is what you're splitting with Talk Dog, was the first time we're hearing really anything about Kendrick's, T, and anything about his contract, anything of exposing his anything behind the scenes for him outside of what he have given us himself when it comes to like Mr. Morale the Big Steppers album, which is a great album. If you have not heard it, I see a lot of people on social media jumping on the wave or listening to that album. It's been a great album to me. Me and my wife listen to it religiously since it dropped. So go listen to that album. Die Hard, United in Grief, Count Me Out, Crown, all of them are some of my favorite. But anyway, while we're waiting for Kendrick, Push-Up's a solid song that don't just focus on Kendrick, but it addresses him good enough, and it addressed the folks Drake going against. So I think Drake is sitting in a pretty good spot. And then Euphoria dropped. Had to be careful because before Euphoria dropped, I heard an AI Kendrick leak on Twitter that I wasn't sure it was him or not. So when Euphoria dropped, I had to triple check, and I seen he posted on his Twitter, so I knew it was real. And this is what we get bad for Drake, I say, because Kendrick is such an artist that he could rehash some things that's been said about you, but he has a clever way of bringing it about. He has a way of Kendrick. Euphoria comes out with 3 beat changes. It comes out with multiple flows. He gives us the line we familiar with. Don't tell no lies about me. I won't tell truths about you. Which, if you know, you know. And when the beat break down, he does what Kendrick does. Kendrick came away with this with a lot of quotables. Well, is it the braids? You don't want to be no more. Okay, what's the others? It's so many other songs that quotables Kendrick got that I know is stuck in people's head. So when Euphoria comes out and I had to compare it to Push Ups, I tried to give Drake a little more brownie points. He's going at 20 people as he say, which also I'm gonna tell you why I take that point for him later. I'm gonna say that in another song why I take the 20 versus 1 thing from him. But I want to give him a little brownie points towards that. Rapping wise, Kendrick rap better. Euphoria rapping wise is better than Drake's rapping on Push Ups. Kendrick warning shot, but just enough to be a diss. The warning shot is a person, and it's a friendly fade. They keep it that way. But then later he does mention his parenting. I hate when folks say he dissed his kid. He didn't diss Adonis. Or he talked about your parenting, which is disrespectful enough. But he said your parenting is piss poor. That's not the same as, oh, you mentioned my kid. Da, 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 da. No, he mentioned your parenting. You know, and I'm only saying that in the context of folks to say who made it go personal first. And Push Ups, Drake did what he did in the Pusha T beef. What he said, make it ring like Virginia Williams in Duppy, which is Pusha T's wife name, which Pusha T then came with the story of Adonis. And then in this one, he said we be with bodyguards like Whitney, which is a double entendre onto the Bobby and the Whitney Houston Bodyguard movie back in the day. Haven't seen it, check it out. And Kendrick's wife name is Whitney, as he mentions her name throughout the whole beef and stuff like that. So to me, Drake took it personal first and Push Ups. And like that, Kendrick did not mention his family member and like that. He name dropped the man's wife as he did with Pusha T. So when it comes to who made it personal first, in my opinion, it is Drake. But Euphoria, he mentioned his parenting, which, like I said, could be a blow. He mentioned the contract. I like rebuttals when it comes to this stuff. He mentioned Drake's contracts because, you know, you're talking about me and Top Dog 50-50. You was signed to Wayne and Birdman. Birdman is known for robbing niggas. Birdman is known for fucked up contracts. You were signed to the king of fucked up contracts. You know, so I keep back up my contract. The Pusha P, pushing T, you know, Kendrick do what he do with the voice inflection and all that. So I had him 1-up out the Euphoria. Not no major gap, but I had him up 1-0. But I did skip so in the midst of Euphoria, we did get the Taylor Made freestyle, which was 2 parts and Snoop Dogg AI with Drake, where Drake wrote their verses. The concept I liked because Kendrick's LA, you take these 2 other West Coast rappers and they're basically like pleading to him to defend LA or stand up for LA because you know, you got to rep us and respond because it was taking Kendrick 2 weeks to respond to Drake as he wanted to keep pushing his, it's taking Kendrick forever to respond, even though he took his time for like that, which is, you know. But what I didn't like about it, I did like about it is Drake's little rhyme schemes, what he does. And I mean rhyme schemes, I mean his verse in particular, his last verse. It's a little pocket Drake get in with his rapping sometimes, like his poetry, talking rap type that I like. What I didn't like about it is he tried to be rapping it in the 2-part verse for sure. When he like, you know, B Rabbit, you know, that's Eminem's 8 Mile character where he goes and say everything the guy's gonna say about him so the guy can't, you know, say it because he already said it. And Drake kind of does that. He's like, in a 2-part voice, mention him liking young girls. It's like, yeah, bro, we gonna mention that. Like, you not getting all of me mention. Like, we finna fight and you go, what you gonna bring up? Me talking to this young girl? Yes, we going to talk about that. So I didn't like his attempt to try to get, and he did that constantly in this Kendrick beef. He tried to get ahead of what Kendrick was gonna say to try to take the power all of it, but you couldn't do that. You know, even in one song, which I'm gonna discuss, he said, I expected the Epstein angle. Who the fuck expects that? If you came at me with that angle, I would be very surprised. You expected it, which don't sound good to anybody's ears, because he was trying to constantly get ahead of anything else Kendrick could say or do to try to power all of it, which was failing too much. But the Taylor Made freestyle was there. And I'm gonna compare that to 616, which unfortunately for Drake again isn't even close. The prayer Kendrick was doing, and it's like a war general having to say a prayer before going to war, knowing he had to go kill people, how to do So he said, God, who am I if I don't go to war? And it's Drake, it's Kendrick again, putting the seeds that is moles in the OVO count, which is a whole nother story. What we saying on Twitter right now with the whole mole exposing this or that, but 616 was just planting that seed more. It was another thing of Drake. You could stop this now. You could pull out of the personal family deeds. We can either stop this or we can continue this on the exhibition of who's the better rapper type thing, rather than your family this, you a horrible dad this. That was like the next warning shot of that. I would take Taylor Made Freestyle and 616 out of this because the Tupac estate, for whatever reason we don't know. Drake has his suspicion that Kendrick called them, but they had Taylor Made Freestyle took down, so it can't have its replay value because I can't go back and listen to it. So it would be unfair to Drake to compare that to 616 while one of them is no longer available. So I won't count that into the beef. So it's gonna still be Euphoria and Push-Ups. We have Kendrick on one. Next was Family Matters. And if you're familiar with that night and the craziness that night, I was sitting in bed. My wife is playing Call of Duty. She plays Call of Duty heavy. And I'm listening to music, Euphoria most likely. And I seen Drake drop Family Matters. So I go, oh shit, Drake dropped. I go to the restroom and I, get myself ready to listen to the song. I put it on in the middle of Drake dropping. In the middle of the song, towards the end though, I want to go to see what everyone else is saying, and it's immediately reporting that Kendrick has dropped. So now I need to go and get a Drake track my full attention. Now I don't have a day, 2 days, 3 days to let this track, because normally when they drop the song and we had to wait for the other, I play whoever last diss track over and over and over again. So I would have spent about 3 days just listening to nothing but Family Matters, waiting for Kendrick to drop. But Kendrick didn't give us an opportunity. He dropped like an hour after this guy. Stumping on his record, which was a brilliant move because Family Matters would have been Drake red button. And he didn't let it he didn't let it simmer out there. But Family Matters may be the best rapping performance in this beef. It could very well be. Pros of it, he got new allegations on Kendrick here. He going more into he's saying you beat your woman. He's going more to try to discredit your image of a black empowerment activist person by saying you got a mixed woman and you cheat on whole white women. That I like they kept the constant Michael and Prince thing going throughout the beef, and he said you may be I may be Prince and you actually might, because Mike was hoping that his feature would change and he could actually be white. Talk make you rap for change, going back to the whole contract thing, then get on the tracks make you rap for the whites, which is interesting for me coming from Drake, because I always wondered why I didn't see Drake working with many like Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, stuff like that. He normally really work with majority just rappers and some singers. And I think he kind of hit on in this beef. Apparently, he looked at Kendrick as the bigger like sellout, because he like, you got the tone with Taylor Swift, you got the song with Maroon 5, and you talking about me and my race and if I'm really black and this and that, and that's what you are. That's what you do. But then the flaw with this song comes, Drake, I gave you the credit for the it's me versus 20 on Push-Ups. You're not getting that same card in Family Matters when it's been very clear this is a one-on-one now. He wanted to keep the 20 versus 1 angle going because it will always keep him ahead in some people's eyes that he having to go against 20 people, quote unquote. And it's just not working at Family Matters. About this time with Euphoria, Taylor Made Freestyle, 616, it's very clear it's Kendrick versus Drake. ASAP ain't saying nothing else. Rick Ross at most doing Instagram stories, and I'll get to the game and Rick Ross thing if you guys want me to. But I don't like the 20 versus 1 angle he tried to keep going in Family Matters. But like I said, it could very easily be the best rapping performance in this song. Speaking of angles, that's what's the angles. Hills was discrediting Kendrick image as this good, wholesome dude that's like an activist for black empowerment. You know, while Kendrick's angle was the culture vulture in his ways with Drake. And I feel like the problem with this is the things that Kendrick's saying about Drake is something we can see ourselves, and that's the biggest issue. What did Kendrick done? What he done in his household, if true, it goes its proper course, but we ain't seen nothing of it because he keep his life so private. But we got videos, 15-minute videos of Drake stealing motherfuckers' lyrics word for word. Does that mean Drake not a good artist? No, it's not. Drake is he wrote for people himself. He has classic albums. That one thing I disagree with Kendrick on before. Drake have classics. Not that what's the same. Take Care. He has classics. But that's what's the angles the two guys really took for the most part. And then Kendrick has one more angle that y'all know where that was. I'm gonna go down in a minute. But Kendrick drops Meet the Grounds right there on Family Matters. So it's giving the audience more belief in what Kendrick's saying about the OVO modes because what's the chances you put out Family Matters, which is a family song like this, about your family, and you put out Meet the Grounds, which is his family. It's like you had to know that he was finna name his something family oriented title to make yours the same. So that's where it brought more belief to this mold situation. It had the cover art was Drake prescript. That's what's going on Twitter with folks and academic them saying it's legit. Drake stuff was stolen, and Meet the Ground start with Dear Dundas. Now we're in full disrespect territory. Mind you, Drake went full disrespect on Family Matters, but this man started the song with Dear Dundas, and through the song, Dear Sandra, Dear Dennis, Dear Baby Girl, and Dear Aubrey. To end it, personal letters throughout introducing us to the grounds and him doing a letter to him. And Dundas verse, I love that he don't get like, oh, your kid this, your kid that. Drake didn't either. They none of disrespect the other kid, but Kendrick is like, hey, I'm gonna be a good mentor for you. Let me tell you what your dad lacking at. You know, if a man piss on your leg, son, you either die right there or pop that man in his head, son. And Dear Sandra, he didn't get the respect for his mom. I guess he know Drake's upbringing that Drake been vocal about with his dad's role and his mom's role. So Dennis got the disrespect. I blame you for his gambling addiction. You raised a horrible fucking person. The nerve of you, Dennis. And with Sandra sit down, I'm about to say it's hard to listen. You know, he didn't speak bad on the mom or the son, but he did with the with Dennis, you know. Meet the Grounds is one of the most hunting songs ever. Put that song on at 1 o'clock in the morning in your room with the lights off, you're gonna be scared. It's one of the hunting songs ever, which is so perfect because Family Matters is so hype. Drop. It can get you hype. And then you go over to Meet the Grounds, it takes you right back down. It takes any momentum Family Matters gave you and just deflates you to this hunting scene. And, you know, the final one, like, you lied about your surgery. You lied, the echoes of it. And Meet the Ground versus Family Matters is the toughest one for me to call because I could really go either way song-wise. Creativity-wise, you know, angle-wise, you know, the daughter thing is something that's heavily talked about, which is crazy. The man mentioned up escort and pedophilia, all this stuff, and we talked about the daughter thing because of the Pusha T beef. The son thing happened. We don't know what's true or what's not true when it comes to that. I wouldn't be surprised either way. But Meet the Grounds for me barely has the edge over Family Matters. Because Drake again has that middle part where he's dissing A$AP Rocky and The Weeknd and Rick Ross. I don't care about none of that. The rapping is good. Yes, the rapping is good there. But it's Kendrick I need you talking about, sir. You know, the Good Kid, Mad City, Van, you know, thing was a good little touch. I get it. I don't get you crazy points for that. You know, Kendrick stayed very consistent in his beef of not posting on social unless it was a link to the song he dropped. Not doing videos, he just was dropping music. Drake got the whole production. He's going to the restaurant, eating at the restaurant Kendrick mentioned. Why do I care? That restaurant is in Toronto. You was in a restaurant in LA. You think I care that you was at a restaurant in Toronto to show, hey, I'm at the restaurant you named, and I'm wearing the FUBU jacket that you said I don't wear in Euphoria. It's like I get the angle, but it stands weak. And now we up to Nat and Kendrick with Meet the Grounds. Like I said, that's a very close one. Family Matters, I would say he out-rapped Kendrick compared to Meet the Grounds, but if like Kendrick wasn't really rapping, like he was doing some type of slam poetry. But I'll give him two net, and now we go into the final round, which I think is the biggest blowout round. Not like us, not because it's the anthem and it's played everywhere and it breaking records, which it is. He the cover art with the Drake house with the Predator markers and the subject matter of now the knife in the twist the knife on talking about your image. I'm gonna do it some more here with the guys around you. Baka got a rare case, bro. Why is he around? Why is Baka around with a rare case? That's enough for you to go look into Baka's case, and the details ain't as horrific as the charges say. I think I gotta say that, but it's still bad. It's still bad. But human trafficking looks bad as a charge. And if I'm saying this guy's a predator or whatnot, pointing out his friend has that charge is crazy. And he's going off Drake's OVO other vaginal options, certified lover boy, certified pedophiles. And he's taking your stuff and he's spinning it to be fucked up stuff. It's a good LA song, good LA anthem. It's complete opposite of Meet the Grounds. It's like Kendrick was showing you every step of this beef, how to different ways he could go about approaching this. I can make a bop. I could do some type of horror thing. I could do some type of and then the final verse in Not Like Us being the history of Atlanta, which I'm from. I live in Atlanta, and the colonizer bar of it. Rebuttaling Drake for Family Matters when Drake said he rapped like he's trying to get the slaves free. I didn't like that line when I heard it. That's a horrible response, Drake. The man and these people is calling you the white boy. They questioning your cultural your devotion to the culture and all that, and your response to the black man to the black guy here is you're trying to get the slaves free. Horrible response, and Kendrick flipped it and said, hey, look, homie, double down, still calling us slaves, y'all. That's exactly my point of why he don't belong in this culture. Horrible angle, Drake. But not like us. Like us is the biggest song to come out of this. So you told me coming into this beef who was gonna make the hit song. I think 90% of us, 95% of us would have said Drake. Kendrick got the hit song. Family Matters looks like it could have easily been it, but no one seems to be playing that. And then Drake drops the Hard Part 6, which makes sense because Kendrick did 616 in LA, which is Drake's timestamp location. So he's taking the Hard Part. To me, up until this point, we had no bad songs in the beef. The Hard Part 6 is the first bad one. This is the blowout round. This is what Drake is put to sleep at. Because first off, these guys are throwing allegations at each other that we don't know is true or not. But when he's quoting Mother I Sober, as I told you, I love the Mr. Morale that bitch stuff album. When he's quoting that song and those lyrics, it's proving Kendrick part. He said, you scoot so low when the metaphors doesn't reach you. So either Drake proved that he couldn't comprehend lyrics of Kendrick's on Mother I Sober, or he intentionally lied about the molestation thing. If you listen to the song, you know that's not what Kendrick said happened. He's speaking of his mom going through that and her trauma, making her continuously question him. And even though he's telling her no, she's not believing it because it happened to her. And he's speaking of that trauma that could bring to him, constantly being questioned about that regarding his cousin. But so that line is horrible. He's obviously waving the white flag, which just kills any momentum of the beef continuing. Because if I'm Kendrick, I got a hit going on right now, and your last song is basically you surrendering. I may look bad just continuously to put my foot on your neck in this song with another song. He like, I'm gonna go. He tried to do this in Family Matters too. I fucking hate when he does this. In Family Matter, he goes, this got to be over for whoever calling it, right? No, bro, you don't get to decide when this is over or declare yourself the winner. We get it. Pusha T was a one-round knockout. Deputy versus Story ever done this. Meat Mill charged up back-to-back, and then Meat dropped his track that was weak, so you win. So you're not used to having to go this many rounds in a rap beef, so you're used to it being over by now. So you're trying to just wrap it up, go on vacation, but Kendrick is right there responding to you. You can't just call yourself the winner. And in the Hard Part 6, he's like, hey, you know, go drop 10 more, I'm going on vacation, all that talking shit. And it's like, you're trying to get all of this. You was begging the guy to drop earlier when you did push-ups and stuff. Now you're just like, oh, you keep going. It would have been fun. It was good exercise to get the pen going. It's like, what the fuck is this, man? It was the most waving the white flag shit ever. And I even hate calling the song the Heart Part 6. Kendrick, you should hurry up and do a Heart Part 6 to reclaim that title for the shit he put on there. This is the first time the beef Drake really made me mad. And I think he killed any momentum of the diss tracks moving forward. Because and to sympathize with him, like, it would deflate you if the whole world, the number one song in the world is calling you a pedo. Like that was, he had to play defense in that song. And I heard someone say it feel like throughout the whole situation, Drake is talking to us while Kendrick's talking to Drake. And so I got Kendrick winning that 3-0. If I was to count Telemade and CS16, it would be 4-0. But I wonder where three guys go from here: Cole, Kendrick, and Drake. Cole, so much of his angle for so long now has been the crown and being the guy, and no one's gonna take that serious after you about all of this. We all can understand why now. No one's gonna take that serious, so they're gonna hurt that angle. Drake, do you go back and just dropping hits? You go back and doing some anthem type songs, which, as Kendrick said, keep making me dance away from my hand and it won't be no threat. You don't go back into that bag. Drake gonna always be able to make hits. He gonna always be able to make hits. No one discrediting that. And Kendrick, if this beef was to decide who's won, he's definitely won now. Where do you go? Do you drop an album and capitalize on this momentum? People are tuned in to whatever he does next. He got the fans in the palm of his hands right now. What he decides to do with it matters. It really matters. Quantity over quality. Quality over quantity. But you can't go for 5 years off of this beef. The folks want an album. They want to hear more of what you got to talk about. We know Drake gonna throw some blims on his upcoming album. That's what he does. He's gonna still throw some blims at Kendrick. It don't matter. The battle's over. But where do them three guys go from here? We'll talk about my thoughts on the Ross in the game. If you want me to, comment down below. We'll do some reactions. We can play each track together and see if we make sure we catch every metaphor. Childish Gambino dropped the album, Med dropped the song, Ice Spice dropped the song. I'm going to be reacting to any of those. Drop in the comments, I will. But that's my review of the beef and win between Kendrick and Drake. We give it to Kendrick. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you have anything else you want to see me react to, review, or discuss, comic books, movies, TV shows, drop in the comment section below and I'll be sure to get to it. Thank you guys for watching.